Coins and beer, bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm, he's a storm as he screams and raves and rants. He is here drinking beer, spilling bitcoins on his pants. Hello, it's me Norm again, and welcome once again to another episode of Bitcoins and Beer. Today I was going to talk about the Bitcoin wallet, but I believe people that are watching this are probably already well acquainted with the Bitcoin wallet, and actually there's already a lot of other videos that are much more informative than I could be. Not like when I started doing this, and maybe we'll talk about that some other point. But today I just want to talk about the news because there's so much news, Bitcoin news this week. First of all, they're having a beer. Today's beer is the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Not sure if I've had this one already, but this is one of my go-to beers. Like I said, there's been a lot of news. First of all, I think I mentioned this in the last video when I talked about the blockchain, that PayPal, Braintree actually, I think they're the company that owns PayPal and eBay and all that. They said they're going to start incorporating Bitcoin into their pay system. So that is actually pretty big news. Reason why this is so big is because Uber. I use Uber all the time. They use PayPal. And right now, the only alternative that I know of is Lyft. I just started using Lyft, actually, and I figured out how to pay for Lyft with Bitcoin. If you have a Fiva wallet, you can buy a Lyft gift card through the Gift app, or you can buy a gift card through the Gift app. Pay for that with Bitcoin, and then you can pretty much pay for the Lyft with the gift card. Which brings up something else. A lot of people, this whole thing is about what people talk to me about, what people ask me. A lot of people ask me, well, first of all, the Bitcoin price is very volatile. It could jump $20 in a day, either up or down, or sometimes even both. Or it can jump even more than that. In a week, it could jump $100 up or down. So it's very volatile. So what I normally do is, if I'm going to spend my Bitcoin, I will go out and buy that much in Bitcoin before I spend it. And then that way I just have it all replenished. And people ask me all the time, when am I going to sell Bitcoin? Never. I'm never, ever going to sell Bitcoin. I'm always going to spend it. And if you kind of keep that in mind, because a lot of people in this, well, not a lot, I don't know, there's many reasons why people are into Bitcoin, and we'll go into that into a different video. But one of the reasons is people want to make money, they're investing, they're speculative, and I think that is the wrong reason myself to get into Bitcoin is to make money off of it. I think one thing, I'm a complete geek, if you couldn't tell. But the other reason is because I think this is a smarter way to spend money digitally. Because right now, okay, there's, we went through 3 phases. There's a manual, which manual is pretty much, dollars, change. It works, you can write things down with pencil. Manual. And there's analog. So yeah, magnetic, or needle recording, kind of a wave format. And then in between the analog and digital phase, they figured out, well, we can put ones and zeros on there and make it digital. and there's digital, and this is the digital phase of money. The human being almost went through the same thing. We have our true self, but then our ego had to come out and protect our true self. That's almost like the analog person, the ego, because the ego wants to either please everybody, or if they can't please everybody, then they put everybody down and try to make themselves feel better. It's a protection method. And then, of course, we have what I call the avatar, which is the social media, the online persona, which is the digital self of the person, which is almost living vicariously through themselves. We'll get into that in another video too. That's more of a deeper philosophical, discussion there. But, make comments on whatever I say. I'm sorry, going everywhere right now, but we're talking about the news. Hey, what?
I lost.
You lost?
No bingo.
No bingo?
Continue.
Oh. No bingo. Okay. So, if you're into Bitcoin to make money, I would strongly recommend against it. If you're into it because you think it's going to become the next phase of payment, how we make money, I strongly recommend that you get into it, or you learn about it, at least, before you get into it. Unfortunately, when I got into it, which was 2012, I believe it was March of 2012. Could have been a little bit earlier, a little bit later. I heard about it a little bit before that, but I didn't really start to understand it or try to figure it out until March. I would recommend not using Bitcoin to learn about it. Probably use something a lot cheaper like Dogecoin or something like that, which is readily available, which unfortunately I couldn't do something like that because there wasn't just a whole lot of information. And also the Dogecoin people are actually a lot more, I'm basically against most of altcoins, but the Dogecoin people are, very friendly, very open, very to share with you the information, which when I first got into Bitcoin, they were. So, the second part of the news, other than PayPal, just, yesterday, apparently 5 million, and that's a million, I keep on want to say 5,000, but no, it's 5 million Gmail accounts were hacked. So I was going to talk about wallets this time. If you have an online wallet, which is actually called a hot wallet, there's several different, there are cold wallets, or paper wallets. Cold and paper, same thing. Hot wallet is something attached to the internet, but the internet wallet is the hottest wallet you can have. And that was actually one of the first wallets I ever had. It's called an Insta Wallet. Boy, that thing blew up. I'll talk about that in another video as well. Lost, at the time it wasn't very much Bitcoin, but now, it's probably, I am afraid to look. Actually, I still have that address. I should look it up and see how much Bitcoin was in there. I think at the time it was like 30 cents, and now it's, I don't know, probably like $30. Seriously. So there's an internet wallet, and sometimes with that you need to have an email address attached to it. Not all the time, because sometimes you just have a paragraph, a phrase or something to get to it, which is going to when I go into the wallet section. If you have the email attached to it, you have to be very strict and secure with that information. Because if that email is hacked, those Bitcoins are pretty much gone. Google has this thing called two-tier or whatever. Well, if anybody try to get my Google account, they'll send a text to my phone, and I'm good. Well, no, I'm not good. If they have my phone, no, bad. But and I have to put in a code before I put it in. That's two-factor authentication. But a lot of the Bitcoin sites also have two-factor authentication, which is another layer. So I'm talking about like Coinbase or blockchain, or there's quite a few of them too. And then they have a PIN number as well. So you're going to have to be very diligent with your security. And just so you know, they probably weren't hacked. What they're from what I've been reading, they're guessing that they got phished for their password, which means they put up a fake website, put your Google account in here. Never do that either. Okay, when you're dealing with Bitcoin, you gotta really secure it. They have hardware wallets, which is basically like a thumb drive. I like to break up my Bitcoin. I don't like to put it all in one place. It's kind of keeping your eggs in one basket thing. Where, if one of my accounts got hacked, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because I don't like to keep... I get nervous when I have over one Bitcoin in one place. That's just the way I am. But... people are lazy. People don't want to remember passwords. But you're gonna have to get a password. If you deal with Bitcoin, you're gonna have to get a password keeper, some sort of encrypted file, and it has to be like password protected. Of course, if anybody gets that, well, they're screwed too. So it's just responsibility. You have to take responsibility. It's like your wallet's your wallet. Your cell phone. If you ever lost your cell phone, how would you feel? That's kind of the way you got to think. Of course, I don't know. Everybody's a little different about that nowadays. Please comment, like, watch, even watch. Please watch it. Because, yeah. Tell me what you think of my videos. Tell me if they're helpful. They're not helpful if they're entertainment. Please. I guess until next time. Maybe next time I'll talk about the wallet, unless there's more news. Those two things alone were big news. I didn't even talk about the frappening, which you can Google that. And that had a little bit about Bitcoin, but not. One other thing I just wanted to mention real fast. I know this is going a little long. That when the Google accounts were hacked, a Russian Bitcoin forum was the one that released all these Google accounts that were hacked. They didn't release the passwords, of course. I downloaded that file because you had two options. You could enter your Gmail account into a website, and they'll tell you if your account got hacked, but I didn't know if they were just collecting my Gmail account, so I actually downloaded the file from the Russian Bitcoin security forum and found out mine wasn't in there. I have two-factor anyway, so I wasn't really too worried about it. When people heard this is the funniest thing. I was talking to this about a friend of mine, and they're like, I thought Bitcoin went out of business. This is a misnomer. Bitcoin is not a company. It's a protocol. That's like saying, oh, I thought the internet went out of business. That's pretty much like what you're saying if you say that, because it's not a company. There's no CEO. There's no person well, Satoshi Nakamoto invented it, but that's another big news. His email got hacked, but we will go into that right now. But just keep that in mind. Well, it's running long. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Enjoy your beer.